Hello and welcome to this little corner of the marketplace just next to the entrance to House Fialan there, where we've got Lady Nilith, the quest giver for the new quest introduced with the latest update, Catastrophe. Our little group had a go at this yesterday, had fun doing it, so I thought maybe for the sake of completeness I could try and send my Druid fools through it, and if we get to the end I'll give you my observations and also maybe a few comments on some changes I've made recently to his build to try to help things a little bit. I'm delighted to see that the bug that was afflicting everybody crossing the bridge in the middle of the marketplace seems to be no more. That was somewhat problematic, shall we say. Several times I teleported, like using the little dice into the middle there, forgetting about it, and ended up immediately dead. Not the happiest of times. I'm quite a fan of the I didn't articulate this very well in the quest with our little group. I just like the design and the sort of environments. There's one with a sort of a blacksmith's area, and just the whole thing has a nice feel to it. And of course there's a dragon thrown in there as well, which is great. One of the things I have done, because I was in Primal anyway, I've gone with Evergreen Mantle in Primal instead of the Draconic one. I know it's a net loss to damage, but it may help me not to run out of spell points in certain situations, like in raids, especially with the ruins, because they're quite thirsty. So I've got all the metas turned on, and now spell point management is much easier, especially as we have one character in our party who is pretty thirsty on the old soul front. If he's like 500 mana off max, there's a panic on. It's almost an obligation to show this quest to Mike in the bear party with that room with the massive amount of boxes that need to be broken. Yeah. Right. I can't quite remember where all the...
Now prove yourself worthy of having a dragon at your side.
Can't quite remember where all the things are. We do have the map here to help us, so that's good. As we completed it before, we have the benefit of the map highlighted, or at least the bits that I explored, as befits the exploration of a new quest. I mean, look at this, the sun, is it sun or just light shining through the windows? I like that anyway. Let's try not to die horribly while we're admiring the... Yeah, this is really nice. That's another change I've made. I've added in a lot of these, well, some of these changes are on the back of suggestions some of you have made, and this was definitely one, adding in this shard storm for the temporary hit point barrier it gives. Another one was the swapping dinosaur item for casting of the Core Lightning Storm, which can trigger the 1000 point, 10 point barrier. I think it's called Legendary Affirmation. So big thanks to those of you who've given me all these little hints. I certainly wouldn't have done it without said feedback. One of the, if you've watched the other one with the group, you'll know one of the Bear Party was a big fan of this. I came up with a bit of a trivia. What's the other quest in the game where there are cows? I think there's only one. I think it's the one in the high road. Is it a stay at the inn where there are cows there in the barn at the bottom? Hello, ladies. Now, why can't I get through? Oh, hello. Is that why we couldn't get through? No? And we did definitely get through there last time. Ah, we have not spoken to the dairy merchant. Now, this is something interesting in this quest. Yeah, we seem to get respawning opponents. I remember we noticed this because the bear was eating and got stuck at the start. No, we can't go through there now. Are we supposed to go through there? I don't know. Maybe not. We've spoken to the dairy person, haven't we? Oh, hello. Right, okay. I think our lightning has run out.
A chance to spread my wings and fly.
Oh, here we go, box breaking room. This one's for you, Mikey. And also for the kind person in the comments who recommended me the box breaking spell, the fairy fire. Awesome. Thank you very much for that. Bit poor that, really. Took much more damage than we should have. I think we got most of them. I love the effect afterwards with the fairy fire. So, we missed a little bit in here, didn't we? Did we? Oh, yes. We can't stop you, can we? Oh, we did. That's a miracle. To hold a despair reaper. That's unusual.
Enjoy the moment, but don't let this distract you
Okay.
from your mission.
We had a shrine there if we need. Look, we're doing really well with the mana. Oh, 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 oh. I think we're a bit surrounded there. Let's just not not take too many chances here. Okay, let's try that again. I think you need to be spoken to. See, another really nicely done little room. I like that. Artificer. I think he's playing around with the stone that will appear in the end room. Why aren't I using the ruins to just, you know, the ruins are a reasonably recent acquisition, and one of the reasons I didn't invest in them previously is that I would routinely go through quests and just forget they were there. But when you're doing, especially when you're doing the little raids that we've started doing with our group, they come in really handy then. Stops me from being so toothless in damage dealing situations. See, we've got 1,010 hit points there from the affirmation trigger, which is lovely. It stopped me from taking a beating there from that archer. Now, let's go and investigate this little area. That's where a ruin comes in very handy.
Don't get weighed down. Fast legs feed.
Now this was the point at which I realised I really liked the little scenery things they'd done. I think these are the weapon racks from the House of Rusted Blades, aren't they, among others. But yeah, I like this, and I like the light through the windows. Okay. Pressing on. Have we still got our lightning thing? No, we don't. We're beginning to run out of other stuff as well, aren't we? That's what I get for standing around and waffling.
Now, point me toward the enemy.
That's another thing I'm not too good at yet. Triggering the shard storm. One of you mentioned, the person who gave me the advice to use it, just trigger it each time you go into a contact, and that is really sage advice. Big hit there. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking for my ruin on the bar instead of... Okay, so even though... Oh, we feel a draft. I can find secret doors with this character. Somewhere. Okay. And we do have evasion, so we shouldn't be too bothered about that.
Trap! Remember to avoid the area.
The rat runs off and squeezes into a crack in the wall.
Okay. Are we following? Oh, we've a locked chest. A bit of cheese there. So we're not getting in there, are we? Unless we've got a roguey type with us. Okay.
Watch where you point me, soldier. I bite.
So, the Weaver.
The Weaver tells you the giant ball of yarn can be found in a storeroom to the south.
Another nice little room. What's in here? Same. Weaving stuff. Ah, there we go.
Reach out to its and follow it.
So fairly linear, which isn't a bad thing in my opinion. I tend to struggle a bit with stuff that is less so.
Let us hunt. It's the only pleasure I
Also, I've ignored the wellspring, which is another problem of mine. It's another thing that we've added to the build. It does come in very handy for bosses and such like. Okay, there is a shrine there which we should perhaps take advantage of.
Prevent living creatures from
Let's speak to the artificer again.
You pull the lever and a beam of energy.
Just make sure there's nothing there. No,
You fought and you bled, but at least you're not dead.
actually no, I don't think it's necessary. We should have ample, I'll just hit a couple of rings just in case. We should have ample to see us through. Just for the sake of completeness, wander around here. It's just a
Not all that
completable, a
glitters is
collectible.
gold.
Here we go. I think at this point there is a mimic that comes to life here.
Cat dragon. It's a mimic surrounded by higher elves.
Oh, you've got to speak to it first. Let's have some Hood of Unrest on. No? Where is my Hood of Unrest? Good question. There, I've replaced it. Oh, of course, it's on a cooldown now instead of a straight one use per quest. I think people were exploiting it, I guess.
Creature sputters curses out.
No mercy, no anger. Focus.
Right, mimics are not known for their speed, are they? So we should be able to outmaneuver you, hopefully. And that's where the ruins come in handy. I forgot to use the wellspring, well done. Nice. Comfort the dragon. Yes, I remember a few of ours were chuckling at this end. I'm just glad this beam doesn't seem to cause death, or at least if it does, I was very lucky there.
The cat dragon begins to happily paw at the giant ball of yarn. Olivia
Playing with the ball.
asks for you to talk to her.
Yeah, I think the consensus was we think this is a very nice addition to the game. And I,
Cat dragon's transformation
one of the Bear Party told me this is player created. So well done, people.
We do what we must to complete
Super
the mission.
stuff.
No regrets.
polymorph cat
No
lets out a
looking
low
back.
growl. This must
And nothing for us this time, but we do get some festival coins. One of our number is an avid collector of these things for the cookies, so I'll be passing all those on to her. Right, that's about it for this one. Let's well, let's just come out and I'll touch on some of these changes I've tried to make us a little bit more survivable and a bit more successful maybe in general. I mean, the first thing, as you saw there, those ruins do pack a punch against a boss, or if you just want to quickly delete something. I'm not using them as much as I should be doing yet. I'm just trying to get used to that, but it is a really nice option to have. especially if you're doing a few raids. They are thirsty. They do cost a lot of mana. 100 on that one and 72 on this one. That's with metas on, but it's I think it's well worth having, as we were in Draconic anyway. So the sacrifice for the ruins is the 2 feats. I couldn't. There are, how many feats are there? It's 24, 27, and 30 that you get these. I think are they called epic feats? So Burst of Glacial was non-negotiable for the crowd control and the just the control in general. I couldn't let go of that. It just fits too well with our build. So I had to let go of Intensify at 27 and Embolden at 30. Also, I swapped Epic Evocation for Wellspring, so I've lost 3 DC, but I thought our DC was reasonably high anyway. You can see outside of Reaper, our Dragon Breath is still a 117, so it's not terrible by any means. I've seen people with things, you know, around the hundreds or even lower being very successful, you know, at holding things and that kind of thing. So I think we had some wiggle room on that, and it was just a case of adding the extra point in there for the ruins. And that was the sadder thing. I was in Draconic, but I was using neither the Wellspring, because we didn't have it, nor the Ruin Intensified. So now we're making full use of the tree, which has a nicer feel about it. The other thing, the big thing I did, I swapped us out of Shadow Dancer, which is where I was getting my evasion from. We took the evasion from Primal, and we've still got our Enlarge, because I was in the video I made, I was in Fate Singer for the other tree, wasn't I? So I had free Enlarge from there. This time around I've swapped Heighten, which we weren't using too much. I think the biggest loss is on the Salt Ray, which is still semi-decent. I mean, 107 outside Reaper isn't terrible. So that's lost about 6 DCs for not having Heighten. But we swapped that for Enlarge, and Enlarge is basically free because we've got it costing 1 point on there, along with some extra spell power. And then here, a lot of you are using these wings. Again, I'm not yet making full use of these, but when you're getting chased around by an end boss or a Doom Reaper or something like that, and you need to maneuver, it's really nice to have. The spell threat reduction, same as in the Shadow Dancer tree, so we haven't lost out there. And in the cores we've got positive and universal spell power, so not too bad. So all in all, I think between the rejigging of the trees and the couple of bits of advice, the swap-in weapon for the Core Lightning, using the Shard Storm. Oh, I got rid of the temp hit point clicking things. I did try. I wanted to like this where is it? This Winter's Heart, and I know the better players amongst you do use this on your druids, you know, religiously. I just forget to click it. I just can't make myself click it all the time. It just doesn't happen. The most I can seem to do is to try to remember to click the Shard Storm. So I took it off simply because I wasn't using it. And the same for the where are we? The same for the Scales of the Dragon. I just wasn't using that. So I know both are good and have really good survivability potential. But if you're routinely not using something, in my case just forgetting to click it, then I think probably best to find other things that you will make use of. I think in this case I swapped the scales for this Daunting Roar. I have seen the odd thing paralysed. It has a green outline around it, doesn't it, when that triggers? Now I don't know what counts as a paralysing. I think in most cases with me that's probably going to be overkill. Obviously the Dragon Breath will count as a potential one. I don't use the one from the Dragonborn tree because that uses charisma and my charisma is crap. I wonder if the Glacial would count as a breath weapon, although that's supposed to freeze things anyway, so that's a moot point. Would the Tsunami count? I don't know. Maybe I'm clutching at straws there. Anyway, something always on that might be useful struck me as something, you know, a bit better than there but never used. So that was the thinking behind that. Right, I think I've waffled on for far too long already. Maybe I'll post the two of these up together, and then you've got a perspective from me on my own, and from the group having the fun of discovering the thing for the first time. Thank you very much as always for looking, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.